Hey everyone, welcome back to Metamaniacs. Happy holidays, it's Dan, and I am back with yet another Grand Archive video. I know, we've been doing a whole lot of these lately, and it's just because we're all really pumped about the game. The Kickstarter is currently live, and it's just the right time to do them, but we will be coming back very soon with some more wider range of TCG content for you on the channel. We have been posting some MTG articles and stuff on the website. Of course, link is down below if you haven't checked that out. We'll continue to be doing that along with producing more content on the YouTube channel. But for all our YouTube fans out there, thank you guys so much. We recently hit 500 subs. We are very excited for the next step, aiming for 1,000. So we really hope that you guys go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you want to help us reach that goal. So today, as you saw in the thumbnail, we have a very special announcement about a holiday promo giveaway. This is an official Grand Archive TCG holiday promo. This isn't the giveaway post, but we're going to be teasing this special giveaway that'll be coming in, I believe, early January when we have access to the promos. So stay tuned to the very end for that, or if you're going to skip ahead, look, I'm just going to put a timestamp down there for you and make it easy. I'm not here to make your life difficult. And I know that you got a lot to do, so no problem. Go check that out at the end, or if you'd like, stay tuned, because the other thing that we're talking about today is what's most exciting to me, honestly, as just a TCG player, the 4 classes, one of which will be making it into Grand Archive Set 1, Dawn of Ashes. The others will probably be coming later down the line. So let us hop right in. We're going to look at what those 4 classes look like as teased in the recent Kickstarter update, and just talk about what we're excited to see in them and who we're voting for. So let's jump right in. So in the recent Kickstarter update, in addition to showing off some more bonus giveaway stuff, a really cool deck box, metal collector cards that are all Kickstarter exclusive stuff that everyone's getting, and as well as talking about the 1.1 print and play updates, because Weebs of the Shore have been taking feedback from everybody from the print and plays and sort of improving that experience for everyone and making sure these starter decks are as good as they can be when they do eventually launch. They are showing us the 4 classes. We have images that are, they have a little caveat. It's supposed to be the feel of each class, not necessarily locked into that exact character design, but I imagine they'll be pretty similar to that. We have images of the 4 classes, which I'm going to have showing here right now, as well as descriptions of the gameplay mechanics that are associated with each one. So I just wanted to hop right in and look at each of these. The 4 classes, sorry, before I jump in, as a reminder to everybody, because of the stretch goals that we unlocked so far, we're moving the set from 3 classes, which would have been the Mage, the Warrior, and the Tamer, to a 4th class being added to those, bringing the set from 204 cards to over 270, which is a really nice number for this first set to have. And that means with these 4 classes, as well as the announced, I think mostly through Discord, but mentioned definitely at some points, we have announced 4 alternate level 3s for each class. So you have 2 options for level 3s. Lineage break lower levels that'll be used partially for draft, but also are an option for constructed play. And then, of course, the 3 elements, fire, wind, and water. We have a pretty good amount of sort of deck building versatility before you even start looking at the individual cards in each deck going into set 1. So I'm pretty excited about that, but it's going to be up to us, the backers, to choose who that 4th class is going to be. So here we have, as I mentioned already, the 4 classes to look at. We have the Ranger, looks like a young male character. The Cleric, maybe I don't know, young and old at this anime is tough to kind of tell, but they all look pretty young in this. We have another male character as the Cleric, and then we have 2 female characters, the Assassin and the Guardian. And if we pull up here the mechanics that we're looking at, I think this is the part that I'm most excited about, just to see how each one plays. So far we've seen with the Warrior, with Lorraine, she uses a lot of attack cards, she uses a lot of allies and weapon regalia, and I think her big thing is to get a sword out and attack with it and have big, strong attack cards to play. And I know that I've seen the devs mention that they want attack cards to really be sort of the Warrior's domain. If you want to play a class that plays big, powerful, juicy attacks, it's going to be the Warrior that you're playing. And of course, if you've been playing the print and play, you're also familiar with Rye, who is very much sort of he's got no attack cards at all. He's got burn spells. He's just trying to deal a lot of damage, control the board, and blast the opponent for tons of direct damage without using attacks. And then we've seen some teases of the Tamer so far, who's using beasts and buff counters to make her allies really large. And we've seen the beasts, seen tease some mechanics where the beasts will be unable to do anything because of a pride mechanic until you've reached a certain level. So they're big and powerful and they can come down early, but you have to hit those higher levels to sort of activate them and turn them on. And until then, they're susceptible to being attacked. So in addition to sort of the different play styles of those three, we're going to have the Ranger, who has ranged attacks, which can't be retaliated against, and then uses arrows. I'm really excited to see these arrows in play because these arrows are another type of card that comes out of your material deck, another type of, perhaps they'll be a regalia like the swords are. But these ones, unlike swords, which will use up their durability and then be banished, the arrows will end up being used and then return back to the material deck to be used again. So I'm really interested to see what kind of gameplay patterns are going to come from using arrows, what sort of cards maybe can bring arrows out or swap arrows out. You know, you can imagine the Ranger kind of swapping for a different kind of arrow for a different sort of situation. That sounds kind of exciting and fun to me, and to maybe be able to swap literally, well, I guess not literally, but, you know, to get a silver bullet of some kind. In this case, I could be a silver-tipped arrow or something in order to deal with a particular problem on the board. That sounds pretty cool to me. The Cleric's the next one. As you would expect, of course, the Cleric is going to be recovering health. And that already sounds pretty cool because currently, you know, you can face, if you're playing the print and plays, you can face a lot of pressure from Lorraine dealing damage early, and being able to recover that may actually have a bigger impact in this game than in some other games where lifelink and healing and magic and stuff is generally considered a less competitive strategy to take, although they've been pushing it lately. It's quite a bit stronger than it used to be. But more importantly to me, the Cleric has a couple of really cool mechanics called Lucid and Serenity that are dealing with memory. And if you've been playing the game, or at least have watched the quick start guide so far, linked below, the memory is your main resource in the game. You play cards by putting other cards from your hand into your memory, and that means you just temporarily lose access to them until you draw them back again next turn, unless you choose to materialize cards with them, which is how you're going to advance your champion's level and play regalia and other cards that allow you to potentially draw more cards and stuff like that. And the Cleric gets to play with that a little more with lucid cards that allow them to play them out of their memory, so they can place them down to play something, and then they can place more cards down to play a lucid card out of their memory instead of from their hand. Getting a little bit of a double use with that card. And then Serenity, which is actually kind of like, seems crazy to me, it's kind of like a triple use for the card. They can pay for cards that have Serenity by returning cards from their memory back to their hand, meaning that then they could use them once more to play another card with them. So the Cleric, to me, is the one that sounds most interesting. I am hashtag Team Cleric, and that's probably the one I'm going to be voting for when the voting starts for backers next week. I guess I'm trying to get more people on the train with me because I really want to see this stuff right away and not have to wait till set 2. That said, all of these do sound pretty cool to me, so I'd be happy with whatever we get. Next one on the list is Assassin. Assassin, you could have guessed this, has stealth as a main mechanic, and stealth means that their units can't be targeted unless the attacker or the card being used to attack has true sight. So a little bit of evasion, difficult to deal with. And then Critical N, this sounds like a scary ability. Attacks or weapons with Critical N will allow you to attack with an attack that deals double damage unless the defender discards N cards from their hand. And if you've played the print and play at all, you know how critical cards in hand are in Grand Archive. It's a game with a lot of personal responsibility, and if you don't manage your cards very well, you sort of lose steam later on. And having this sort of rock in a hard place, bad decision to make, do I take twice the damage from this thing, or do I just discard a card? You may find that later on in the game you're exactly one card short of doing what you need to get through the game, and that can be a pretty difficult thing. So it's a very thematic and very cool ability for the Assassin to have. I think it's very clever, and I'm excited to see it in play, hopefully in set 2, because I'm really on that Team Cleric, of course. But if that's your cup of tea, that's what you're going to want to be voting for. And then finally, Guardian. This is pretty straightforward to me. I could have guessed this right out of thin air, but it still is exciting to see because it's going to be a nice shake-up to gameplay. The Guardians' main mechanics are Vigor, which allows their units to untap, or I should say awaken, during the end phase of the turn, meaning they can attack with them and then awaken them and then still be able to retaliate with them on the next turn. It's important to remember that everything can intercept even when it's tapped, but it allows their blockers to actually deal damage back to the opponent by retaliating on the next turn, or potentially activate an ability on the card and then still retaliate with it on your opponent's turn. But I think more importantly, Armored N, where their units are just going to take N less damage from any source, which means that Guardian is there as sort of a hard counter to Rai, making a lot of his board wipes a lot less appealing, making him have to work twice as hard sometimes to deal enough damage to kill things. Or, I mean, that applies to Lorraine too in her attacks. So Guardian there as the tank seems like a really important role to have in the game at some point. And I do know that the game was developed initially in sort of their initial planning for it as with Guardian as the fourth class for a more balanced limited environment. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to balance things for limited with whatever fourth class ends up making it in. And they have designs and development for all of these already in place, obviously. But it may mean that they have to tweak some things or something to try and make that limited environment as balanced as they possibly can if Guardian isn't the one that makes it in. So those are the four classes, their appearances, and I'm just really curious to hear. I want you guys to let us know down below, what is the class that is most appealing to you to take the fourth slot alongside Warrior, Mage, and Tamer in set 1? Again, hashtag Team Cleric here from Metamaniacs, but if you have a favorite, definitely make sure you are already backing the Kickstarter in order to vote for it. Really think that this is an exciting thing, and I'm really excited just to see which class makes it in, and then get to see sort of the full gamut of classes when we do eventually get to set 2 is going to be really exciting. So, with all that said, that was kind of the bulk of what I want to talk about today, except, of course, the super special announcement. So, let's jump right into that. All right, so our special announcement. First of all, thanks so much to Weebs of the Shore for letting us show this early. I believe it's going up on their social medias tomorrow, but we got special access to seeing this card ahead of time. I'm going to put it up right now. This is Lorraine Festive Night, who is a special promo available through content creators and through Discord events that are coming up very soon. So we are going to have a number of Lorraine Festive Night holiday promo cards to give away to you guys. You can see right there, it's on screen, you can see how absolutely gorgeous this card art is. They absolutely knocked it out of the park with Lorraine, Sylvie resting on her, a little Santa Claus in the background. Adorable, adorable holiday card, going to be a super cool collectible promo to get a hold of. As you can tell, it's not a playable card. The enter effect is you can give each opponent a gift, and if you do, all players win the game. This isn't going to be your competitive staple card or anything. It's just going to be a really, really cool collector's item, and they are coming in foil. So I can't wait to be able to give these away to you guys. We will have announcements for how we're giving them away when we receive them, which should be around January from what I understand. So just a little late for the holidays, but you know how shipping during the holidays can be. So we will be able to give these away, though. I don't know exactly how we're doing it. We have a number of options. Of course, we have our Facebook page, our website, our YouTube channel. We have an Instagram account that we've been using a little bit more lately, and these will be posted on there, of course. And we have our Patreon as well. So when we are ready to, for sure, we'll be announcing everything here on YouTube as well as on our other channels. We may be splitting them up between the different channels. Not exactly sure yet, but just stay tuned here and you will see how you'll be able to get a hold of one of these promos. And I know you're not going to want to miss out on this. So with that said, that's everything for today's video. Look at the classes, a look at the Lorraine Festive Night promo card, and we want to thank you guys for watching as always, and of course a special thank you to our patrons who are supporting us on Patreon. They have allowed us so much recently, allowing us to upgrade our setup and produce higher quality content for you guys. And some of my other content creators who help me explore a wider range of TCGs have also gotten some nice production quality upgrades coming your way. So once we start posting more content from them, you guys are going to start seeing some of that too. I just thank you guys from the bottom of your heart for supporting us, whether you're on Patreon or just subscribing or liking the channel here. We really appreciate that. If you do want to become a patron, the link down below allows you to hop into our Patreon. We've got $2 a month is the lowest one. That's half a booster pack, and I mean, you're going to throw away half of that anyway, right? That's how we would throw away the commons, just keep the rares. So if you guys think that we are worth that, we'd really appreciate you supporting us there. And I want you to stay tuned for 2022. We have already gone forward with our plan for a new it's been a couple of years, but we're doing a new supporter playmat in 2022. It's going to feature some really amazing artwork, and if you're a Grand Archive fan, you're probably not gonna want to miss that. So there's a teaser already up on our Patreon, but $5 and $10 supporters on Patreon will have a chance to get that playmat in 2022. So lots of exciting things coming your way, guys. Thanks again to the patrons. Thanks to you guys for watching, and let us know down below what you think of the 4 new classes and which one you're going to vote for. And that is everything for today's Grand Archive update. Stay tuned for more awesome TCG content from Metamaniacs, and take care, guys.